Do you hear that?
The intro. You can't talk during the intro music.
We should start over.
So
I love you guys.
Hey everyone, welcome on into Dad Meets World, podcast with two dads that talk about things going on in Dad World, catching up on the things we may have missed, and then of course playing a little bit of a game that helps us escape from reality as it is. Thank you for joining us. We like to try to keep it clean around here. Sometimes the world is messy though, so we got to get our hands dirty. Y'all know what I mean? My name's Mike. I'm your host. I'm joined by my co-host Mike.
I'm a little concerned at what I just heard.
Dude, I'm going to be throwing random ways to start this show out like crazy. None of it's going to make sense. It's
What are we doing
very
with our hands?
cringeworthy. What?
What are we going to be doing with our hands?
Hopefully appropriate things. I guess I'm,
You said we were going to be getting them dirty, so.
Oh, yeah, that was a metaphor. But literally, I want to see your hands on top of the table, okay? Thank you. We are also joined by our producer behind the camera, Nick the Seagull.
Oh, hey guys. Oh, such a good night to be here. I'm so happy.
I love the energy you're
That's
bringing.
the energy. That's it.
Yeah, that's always here.
I don't know where you found it.
You know,
You
He
ate
is-
the biggest meatball sandwich I've ever seen
Just-
before this.
Yeah,
being
I
here
figured
with you
you'd be
guys,
tired.
You know?
that's
Wow.
a beast. That's a man who knows there's
What
a
a
job
guy.
to get done, and he's like, I'm tired. I want to sit down. I want to rest for the day, but I got to get back up on my feet, put on my Carhartt jacket, and figure it out.
That's why he's the
That's
one that
a
gets
man.
paid.
Anyways, yeah. So, Mike, how are you? How you doing?
Pretty good,
Good.
relatively,
Yeah.
I think.
So you are solo parenting for the next few nights. Is that correct?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So
3 days, 4 days, 3 days.
4 days, 3 nights.
T's
I have
and
my
P's.
mom. So there's 1.5 people and 2 children that are under 2.5 years old. We're a little outnumbered. I only say 1.5 because she doesn't have the energy level to keep up with those 2 kids. She really doesn't. I mean, all day she's going to be so tired after this weekend. They're going to wear her out. It's
That-
going to be interesting, and that's why I hesitate when you ask me how I'm doing. So I think I'm okay.
Right now.
My
in
wife
this
left
moment.
about 2 hours ago,
and
maybe,
and
and
we're already
ready
in,
to have her back.
Yeah, I was just say we're already in freak out mode.
Yeah,
Oh,
bedtime
nice.
was fun.
Yeah, I have a Cassie's going to be leaving in February, the end of February, for 2 nights, and I definitely in that moment when she said that, like, you know how sometimes you can just feel your body get instantly warmer and hotter, and you're like starting to do the sweats and whatnot. Yeah, I had a little bit of that where I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
I usually
You'll
push
be
those
good.
feelings
We're good.
way down deep. I say, okay, yeah, that's okay. You go do
Well-
whatever you want. And I push the feelings way down deep, and then she leaves, and I go, oh, wait a second. Uh-oh. I didn't think about this.
First and foremost, let me say that you, as a parent, very, very, very capable to get through this weekend. And I know it is,
We'll see.
obviously, we all know that when you have to do the solo parenting, it's more stressful. That's just natural. It's part of it. But I know you as an individual, you will get through it without any issues. And when I'm left alone, I feel like the same thing. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm obviously dealing with half the circumstance that you're dealing with. But,
Yeah.
Are you excited that your mom's coming into town?
I mean, yes and no. I'm a little bit worried. I have to work away from her and the kids tomorrow. So I'm a little bit worried about that. She's going to be alone with the kids, and I just hope she can handle it. I know she can,
Yeah.
but it is a lot. So
Well,
I'm excited to see her and be here, but I mean, to be honest, I don't know how much I'm going to be able
lot.
to see her,
yeah.
So
Yeah,
how are you, Mikey?
Absolutely. I'm good. Like I said, there was a little bit of that shock knowing that my wife's going to be gone as well, but that's a ways away out. Other than that, I mean, it's kind of a Friday for me. There's no kids at the school tomorrow. So I'm excited about the fact that I can stay up as late as I normally stay up, but when I wake up, it'll be a little bit of an easier,
You don't have
like,
to go to school.
lackadaisical. No, I have to go in. I have to go in, but it's more like
Professional
training.
development day?
Yeah, sort of. There's not really any actual like training or any sort of like class led trainings where they're like, hey, come into the room, you got to learn something, we're going to talk about something that everyone needs to be on the same page about with how we do things. No, it's more of like a, hey, if teachers need copies made or help with their lesson plans, or if you need to strategize on how to do things differently with your kids, it's that kind of a day. So
why you're getting paid tomorrow, we'll never know.
I'm doing plenty of things. I'm going to build a file cabinet. The teacher said they want a canopy in their room. I'm an important person. I don't appreciate being talked to or
has
about
to do
this.
those things,
Thank you.
and someone has to do them as well as you will. Yeah.
So, I was wondering on the dad side of things for this week.
Yeah, speaking
For
of
you?
successes, like you building
Yeah.
bookshelves and canopies.
I'm
going to
do a great job. I'm very handy.
Yeah, that's great.
Very handy. Mm-hmm. I have a hand and it's very large.
You do.
So
What it can do.
But yeah,
don't
no,
know.
I was going to jump into success, failure, timeout, like that thing.
Sure.
Anything like that you want to talk about this
Yeah,
week?
so maybe we can each share something that we've been successful with
Yes.
this week or the past couple of weeks.
Yes.
Maybe something that we've failed with, and maybe something that we'd like to put on timeout.
Correct.
A behavior, maybe of our child's, that we would just like to say,
Yeah, something they're doing that we
you
wish
are
we
going to go into timeout.
could. Yeah.
Yeah.
A success we've had with our kiddos and
Perfect.
a failure that we know is it was a failure, but everyone's alive, so it's not a big deal.
Exactly.
I wanted to see. You want to do that tonight?
Sure.
Okay.
I can start you off.
Cool.
So, Grayson is 2.5 years old. Well, almost 2.5 years old.
Close
And
enough.
He's right in the thick of the terrible twos, and he wants to say no to everything. He doesn't want to listen. He doesn't want to go to bed. He doesn't want to take a bath. He doesn't want to eat. He doesn't want to do really anything that his parents ask him to do, right? He wants to do all the things that he wants to do. And it's really, really difficult to be fought on every single thing that you are just trying to do to get through your day and get your kids through their day. So I think one of the things that I've been struggling with, and maybe we've both been struggling with as parents, and not you and me and my wife, is being fought on literally everything. And so we've both just got really calm with him, and we've gotten down to his level and tried to meet him exactly where he's at in every single circumstance. And no matter what it is or how far he's pushed it or how many opportunities he's had, we've tried to bring him from the red to the green and just have patience and listen and just try to let him talk and give him the space to do whatever he needs to do to maybe blow off some steam. And it's kind of worked a little bit to get through to him, to let him get his feelings out and maybe get him down onto our page or get him to our page to see eye to eye a little bit more, at least as much as a 35 or 34-year-old and a 2-year-old can get on the same page. And it's been working a little bit. So I think that's a success,
Nice.
I think any hostage negotiation in which we come out on top as parents is a great success.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it's a great comp, right? A hostage situation. When you're a negotiator, or what do they call those people that are...
A negotiator.
Is it a negotiator
Yeah.
in a hostage situation?
Yeah, hostage negotiator. Well, I'm Sean Connery.
I mean, if Sean Connery was my hostage negotiator, I'd be like, you're right, I should put this
Stop
gun
it.
down
Let them
and
go.
definitely figure out my life. I'm going to go back to college, Sean Connery. Thanks. So... but what I was going to say is that's, just a great comp, because when you are the negotiator in a hostage situation right, I think one of the things you have to do is be able to build trust. And so that's what you're doing with him. You're building trust. You're showing that he could be vulnerable. He can open up and he can talk to you guys. And if he's doing that, then hopefully your communication back to him and helping him like get on the same page of the behavior you want, hopefully it's easier. You got to let me know how that goes, because obviously you're a year and a half ahead of me.
We're going to talk about it.
Okay.
We're up to failure next.
Oh, no.
What's your success, Mikey?
Yeah, my success. It's hard to say because there's just been a whirlwind of things that have been going on in our household. But I would say, out of everything,
There's got to be something that
I have. So like, okay, with the sleep regression stuff that's been going on, like I have figured out.
Why are you going through sleep regression?
Because you're good. We talked about this before, but he's off the bottle, so no more nip and the plastic kind, and then no. I don't know why I said it that way. And
what did you say? I didn't even catch
it. So he's off the bottle. We'll cut it there. Thank you. Oh, dang it. Cut it here, and then I'm going to move into what I say next.
Leave all that in.
Oh, my gosh. Just use the outtakes for something later. But we already talked about this before, but he's off the bottle now, and that has been a difficult transition at night. He wakes up more frequently. So it was one of the nights where he woke up at like 1:30, and instead of rocking him in the bedroom, I took him out of the room, went outside on just outside on the front porch, and looked at things for like 10 seconds, went back inside, put him to bed. Done. No issue. So now when he's waking up crying and I can't really soothe him with anything else, distraction, I guess, is working. I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to work. I'll let you know.
Out of that state that he's in.
Yeah. I don't know.
You got to try different things, and whatever's working is working. And it's good something's working, because sleep regressions are really hard.
Yeah, for him and for us, it's been. I've not been doing as well with the sleep regressions.
Has he gotten a little bit better with it? Is he?
Yes. Oh, yeah. We're doing much better. Sorry, he is sleeping through the night most nights now. It was really last week that was rough, and the weekend, but he's been good. But,
sure.
Yeah. How about you? A failure?
Well,
what happened?
I mean, in the same vein as my success, I feel like just tonight, Grayson's bedtime was impossible. You do everything that you possibly can. You do the routine where you brush teeth. You go in, you change the diaper, you put on PJs, you put on socks, and he's in a big boy bed now. So he gets up on his bed.
It's a nice bed, by the way.
It is. It's a really nice bed. It actually really is.
To be honest with you, growing up, very comfortable. Never had anything that nice.
I didn't either. I really didn't.
But continue.
But yeah, so you brush teeth.
Yeah.
We get in bed, change into our PJs. We read a book. We sing a song.
Mm-hmm.
We cuddle up. We turn on our night lights. He has 2 night lights in there now.
Mm-hmm.
He has the Spider-Man nightlight, and he has his moonlight.
Oh, heck yeah.
And
is it just Spider-Man, or is it like Spider-Man doing something cool?
I mean, it's Spider-Man, and he's like kind of shooting a web.
Yeah, I mean, that's the coolest pose. Everybody knows that's a top 5 pose of all time.
But it's not, obviously he's 2, right? So you can't take it personally, and you're not doing anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But for him, he doesn't want to go to bed. He has FOMO. He wants to stay up. He wants to be with you guys. He hears you guys upstairs. He wants to be with you. He wants to talk to you. He wants to talk to mom. He wants to play with the dog. He wants to play with his toys. He just wants to do everything because he's 2. And so his bedtime is just so hard. And so like you get to a point of desperation, and I think that's why it's a failure, is like you kind of lose your cool and you lose that ability to like maintain that level of like his true north in a way almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you kind of get desperate, and it's like, dude, like please, like go to bed, because if you don't, I'm going to get all of these stuffed animals in here, and we're going to put them in a bag. We're going to light them on fire. I didn't say that to him, but like you get desperate and you're like, dude, I will do anything for you to go to bed. Like, what do you need tomorrow? Do you want popcorn for breakfast? Do you want, like, what do you want so that we can get on the same page so that you go to bed? Like, you have to go to sleep, because then in the morning you don't want to wake up. You want to sleep in, and it's just the cycle, he sleeps in too long for his nap, then he sleeps in late, or he goes to bed late again, and it's just the cycle of continues.
Yep.
But yeah, I think tonight was that failure of like, Grayson, I desperately need you to go to bed. Like, you're an hour and a half past your bedtime. I am desperate for you to go to bed. Like, if you want to go to the park twice tomorrow, fine, but I need you to go to bed now. You need to close your eyes, and I need to see you sleeping when I look at the Nanit or when I check in on you. Like, I need you to sleep. And so I feel like those are the moments where I'm just like, okay, like, I got to maintain my cool. I can't lose it, and I can't get to that point with him. I have to be the adult in the room, and I have to be the one to understand that 5 more minutes or giving him one more song or one more book is better than the 30 minutes of fighting with him because he didn't get that.
And the blood curdling scream that he does.
My goodness.
I can't wait till I get to experience it. I feel like with that type of a situation,
you just run out of ideas.
Yeah, well, and it's like you're doing so many mental gymnastics just to try. Like, he is supposed to be this very simple creature right now, and but it's very complicated on how you are able to get them to actually be still, or to do what they need to do without knowing that they need to do that, because it's going to affect their next day. Because it's very short-sighted in their minds, and that's okay. That's where they're at. That's their development process. So,
or eat this because you're going to get angry because you're starving, and then they were I'm not eating that. I don't want that. Get that out of my face.
Have you tried counting backwards with them?
Well, we count to 3.
Yeah, Or like, have you ever thought about like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like things that would distract him that are quick and easy that you could point to.
Oh,
like,
he's past distractions.
Get him to look at something and then like slowly just like go into a trance, hypnotize him subliminally. No? Dude, I'm not looking forward to that. My failure as a parent this week, let me just stop thinking about it. It scares me. So my failure this week definitely is more related to me saying I would do something, but I wasn't doing it. So with Cassie, there's nights where she's exhausted, but I'm still staying up because I have energy and I want to just like either play video games or do whatever I want to do with my free time, watch some TV movies. But I tell her like, yes, I have my monitor on, and like you can turn yours off, because sometimes with the sleep regression, he kind of wakes up, but not really. Or if he fully wakes up, I don't want her to get up because I'm already up. So I want her to be able to get good sleep, uninterrupted sleep without the monitor on. So I turn mine on, and that's fine. But she's like, are you sure you're good with this? And I'm like, yes, I'm good with this. She's like, can you turn my monitor back on when you come to bed so that we both have our monitors on? I'm like, yes, I can do that. She's like, cool. Can you please make sure you plug your phone in so your phone doesn't die as well, so that we both have our monitors on once again? And I'm like, yes, we can do that. So I don't know which night it was, but I was responsible, and I was responsible when I was awake. I did not, in fact, turn her monitor back on when I got to bed, and I, in fact, did not plug my phone in.
So you had no monitors?
We had no monitors
How old is
whatsoever.
Harrison now?
He is one and some change.
Yeah, so
barely any change.
He's okay. But
yeah, but at the same time, like, the only way we're going to wake up and hear him is if he's crying, and it's like a bad cry. So, yeah.
I mean, there's 2 schools of thought, too. Like, if he's going through that sleep regression, I guess looking back on it, with Grayson, it was harder.
Yeah.
And with Nora, it was easier because we knew what we were going to go through.
Right.
And we knew, like, honestly, we would turn our monitors off when Nora would go through regressions, because we would just say she needs to get through it. If she's hungry she will cry and she won't go back to sleep. We hear her cry like from where we're positioned in the house.
Oh, okay. So,
So-
it's not like you're tuned out entirely. I was thinking you're just
Right.
like, nope,
No,
she's good.
No.
She's got
well,
it.
with Grayson, it was like he would cry and you needed to let him cry, and he would usually go back to sleep. Like he'd kind of cry through it and he'd go back to sleep. And so we kind of, with him, it was harder to let him do that. We would get up and like go check on him or get him food or go do
Well-
whatever we needed to comfort him. Where with Nora, it's our second. We're like, if we hear her through the wall, we know that we need to get up and feed her. Like if she doesn't stop, we can hear her.
Yeah.
But if we have the monitor on, it's going to drive us nuts.
Yes.
So it is okay. Like first and
It's-
foremost, it's okay that you didn't have the monitor on. Like as a parent, you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't
Well,
fail.
No, I did fail because
You
I
just
told my
Allowed
partner
yourselves to step
that
out
I
of
would
your
not.
comfort zones without your
Without
partner's
the
consent.
perfect.
So
So I
you
failed
you failed her.
I failed to get consent from my wife on the
Yeah,
monitors.
exactly.
Great.
You failed your
I
wife.
love the sound of that. My God.
But it's all right.
Anything you'd put in timeout? Well,
Yeah,
from the behaviors or
definitely.
just like things going on.
You know, and I hate to pick on Grayson. We have two kids, but I think
He's
with
the most
Nora,
exciting.
it's the same.
Norris
It's the same kind of adventure for the past couple of weeks with her. And with Grayson, it's an ever-changing landscape every 5 minutes of the day. Every 2 minutes, it's a different attitude. It's a different outlook on the day and happiness level. But I think the thing that I would like to put on timeout is him trying to harm himself
Oh,
or do dangerous things without restraint. So, for instance, like he went off of the couch backwards. Like he was laying on the couch watching TV, or he was laying on the couch just like hanging out one day.
yeah.
And he started scooting backwards, and he went backwards off of the couch, like head first. And me and Kristen stopped him and we said, Grayson, no, don't do that. That's very dangerous. Like you don't want to go head first and land on the ground. You're going to hurt your head or your neck. And that's very dangerous. You have to be very careful. And he got a reaction out of that. So he kept trying to do that. Or he will be at the park and we will tell him, or Kristen will tell him, not to do something. Like he'll want to go run to the swing set, or he'll want to go run somewhere or do something, and he'll just dart and go do it. And he doesn't listen to you have to wait to go do this. He just runs and goes and does it. Or if we tell him no, he'll just run away. Like at our little clubhouse in our neighborhood, she was leaving. She was taking him from the child watch or the daycare that was there. And she was taking him home, and he got to the front and she said, okay, we're going to go get in the car. And he got mad and he sprinted to the back of the clubhouse. And so it's just those situations of him doing dangerous stuff, like jumping off of things head first. And he does that in more situations than just the couch. Like kid is always on his head. And I was too. Like I was on my head all the time as a kid,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
but it just is, as a
Part of
parent,
growing
is
up.
so hard to watch, and it's terrifying to experience. So if I could put something on timeout, it would be that, because I'm tired of being scared of having him run out in, like, God forbid he runs out into the driveway, or he runs out into the parking lot, or like he runs out in front of a kid that's biking, or even runs out on the playground into a kid that's on the swing set. And it's just like,
yeah.
there's so many things he can do and hurt himself, and he just has no restraint or understanding of the world around him and the consequences that follow. So I would love to put that on timeout.
His behavior or your like how much it worries you? Because he's like, I don't know if there's
If
much
it's
you
a
can do about
package
that.
deal, both
Okay.
the anxiety
Yeah.
and the behavior.
Dude, I can totally agree with that. I would say for certain things in the house, like I am definitely like, no, let him explore and let him hurt himself. And Cassie's much more of like why are we letting him hurt himself unnecessarily? And I'm like, because he's got to learn. But then there's the other part of it where I totally agree. Like if he was faster with his walking, running, and he ran out of the front of the house and into the cul-de-sac when a Amazon vehicle's coming through and like just happens to clip him, like that sends shivers down my spine. And
And of course, that's where your brain goes, is the worst case scenario.
Yes, always does. So
And we're all okay. We're all here. But at the same time, it's just like, my goodness gracious.
It just sucks when you feel like something really bad is going to happen, but the dread of the future, which you can't predict, that's not happening. You're not in that situation, but it could possibly happen, but you let yourself sit there. It's not okay. We shouldn't do that to ourselves, but we do it. That's just human nature.
What about you, real quick?
Timeout, I would definitely say...
Sleep regression?
No, I had something when you were talking about it. I was like, yeah. I would like to put in timeout him growing up so fast.
Really?
Yeah, I think I have this thought in my head.
And I don't mean to react that way, but are you really enjoying him being little and...
Yeah, I think at first when he was a baby, I was like, hey, it's fine. Like, he's very cute. He's my son. I can't believe we made this. But now we're in the phase where he's starting to react and adapt and learn. And he's just the way he's communicating with us is growing better or more. It's improving every week.
He's not that helpless blob.
Yeah, and it's making me take pause and being like, oh man, I'm not gonna lie, like he's just growing up so much faster than I thought he would because time, as we get older, time is going quicker for us.
Yeah.
And I'm already at this point where I'm like, I'm gonna miss this.
Yeah.
And
I know that you feel that way.
And I know I'm going to enjoy the next step and the next step and the next step, but there's going to be a part of me that looks back on this and just say, man, there was so much innocence. There was so much joy. Yeah. And I am going to look back on this fondly, and I'm really trying to do better about being in the moment. Sometimes it is hard because I'm tired and I don't want to be a parent, but like I'm trying to be better about being in that moment right now because I understand that. So I want to put the growing up on timeout right now.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Okay, well, thanks for chit-chatting about being a dad with me for a second. We're going to jump to a commercial break real quick, and then we'll come back and we'll do our dad cap, discuss some stuff we missed. So here's a word from ourselves. Commercials.
Mikey.
Yeah.
Do you have a parent?
I think so.
Or do you have an in-law?
Yeah.
That's coming to stay at your house. And you're a little bit worried because you like your freedom, you like your space, and you like your free time. And you're a little bit worried that by them being at your house, you're going to lose all of that.
Are they also behind me? Because I kind of feel like this is a horror situation.
Maybe they're in your kitchen.
Oh.
Then you need the Parent Trap. For only $9.99, we will come to your house every day that your parents are here. Okay, $9.99 is a little bit of a lie. $9.99 a minute. However, we will come to your house and we will entertain your parents or your in-laws for up to 12 hours a day. That's right. For $9.99 per minute. They were very serious about this. Per minute. They will entertain your parents. They'll take them to the movies. They'll take them to the park. You can feed the ducks. You can feed the geese. You can go to the zoo. You can look at the babies. You can hang out with your grandchildren. You can fly a kite. You can go to the lake. You can do whatever you want. You can go take that updated driver's test that your parents should probably be taking because they're probably too old to drive. Again, $9.99 a minute. These people will come to your house. It's called the Parent Trap because they're going to come to the door. They're going to knock on that door and they're going to get them into something that they're really interested in talking about. And they're going to slowly reel them out of your house and out of your hair for the day for $9.99 a minute. The Parent Trap, brought to you by The Parent Trap.
And welcome back, everyone. We just had our fun commercial break, of course. Great sponsor. I can't believe we actually landed them.
I can. It's slightly illegal.
I have to ask you because you didn't actually personally vouch for the Parent Trap. Have you had their services?
My mom hasn't knocked on our door this evening, has she?
That's a good point. Holy moly. So we talked some about dad stuff. Let's catch up on some of the stuff we missed. I think a lot of stuff happened in the video game world. So you want to start with video games?
Yeah. Switch 2 came out. Well, the
Yes.
Switch 2 didn't come out. The announcement trailer happened this morning, right?
The
Isn't that what it's
official
called?
announcement trailer.
Okay, you tell me.
Okay. So, yes, the official announcement trailer came out today. It was 2 minutes, 22 seconds.
222.
Yeah, for Switch 2.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Clever.
Right? Isn't that ridiculous?
Cute.
So it was a really quick trailer that didn't show off more than the look of the controllers, the system itself, how big the screen is,
The bezel.
the bezel. You don't like that? That's the thing that. Oh, sorry. No. The bezel's the edge around the screen. Yes. I don't think it's too bad, but I also think I'm just watching a video of it. I need to hold the thing. I don't know. I have no opinion on the bezel yet, but the other parts of the system itself in relation to hardware, I am worried about the fact that it's magnetic now. So
connection points?
instead of the side controllers that disconnect from the screen, it's magnetic. So instead of sliding on, it just slaps
We
on.
knew that was coming, though.
Right, we knew it was coming, but we didn't know exactly how it looked. And now we know that there's this metal prong that sticks out from the Switch screen, and I don't know, it just
gonna be
looks
a
kind of
failure
fragile.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it. But at the same time, Nintendo also notoriously is really good about making things proof for a small child to use. So it might be fine. It just seems like it's not that great. But yeah, I mean, beyond that, in the commercial, we saw a glimpse of Mario Kart, the next Mario Kart game. And the one thing I noticed from that, when you first see the clip of it, I don't know if anybody else caught this, but there's like a ton of, the starting paint or whatever it is in F1, and I don't think they have it they don't have it in NASCAR, do they? They have it in NASCAR? Sure.
Starting grid?
I'm really ignorant. I'm sorry, everybody. But they have, the starting grid. Thank you. Yeah, so the starting grid points, there's a ton of them. It's not just, I think, 8 is normally how many you have in Mario Kart. It's a ton. So I think there's a good chance that we're getting, I think somebody online said 24. Maybe that's accurate. Maybe it's not. But it's going to be a lot of people. So
Wow.
that got me excited.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
That is exciting. That's fun.
Yeah, and it makes sense because the last Mario Party game was apparently a ton of people too, or something.
And I do love Mario Party. As monotonous and boring and just Monopoly-like as it can get. Are you excited for the Switch 2? Are you getting this? I guess maybe those are two different questions, but are you excited? And do you see yourself buying the next Switch?
Okay, so when I first woke up and I watched the trailer, no, I wasn't. I'm really not. Here's the thing. When the first Switch came out, I got rid of my Wii U and you gave me your PlayStation 4. So I was on a PlayStation kick. I was playing all the awesome first-party games, cinematic type of experiences, and it was next level. Switch was more of, well, let me say it this way. Hardware-wise, it was a cool concept that translated very well and succeeded at what it was doing. But hardware-wise on the inside with the CPU and the rest of the components just wasn't exciting, didn't really push the boundaries of what we could do in video games. I don't know, so I didn't really care. But then a bunch of really good games ended up coming out, so I kind of regretted not getting the Switch. And I thought, okay, I held off on the first Switch. I'll get the second Switch. So I think maybe my hope was that I'd get really hyped up by that first trailer, and it just wasn't. And to be honest with you, it may be related to the fact that we didn't see any software at all. I was hoping we'd see more of the Mario Kart, and I want to know what the gimmick is that they're doing in this version of it. So yeah, I don't know. Not excited. How about you?
So you're not excited?
No, I'm not excited. And it has not moved the needle for me. Are
Really?
you, after seeing the trailer, are you more excited?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish there was, and I guess we don't know. I wish there was two models. I wish there was the OLED model, and I wish there was the base model. Excuse me. Because I feel like not having the OLED model is kind of a step down. You can have a great LCD screen, but the Switch 2, if it doesn't have, or LED screen, if it's not OLED or whatever they decide that they're going to use for their thing, if it's not OLED, it's not going to look as good. It's going to run better. Maybe it's going to be better graphics and it'll dock better. It'll project better. But man, I wish that was going to be an OLED screen because the OLED just looks better.
Yeah, OLED's superior in every single way,
So
whether
I'm
it's
a
a
little bit
handheld
bummed.
or a TV, handheld or a TV. But the thing is, when you're thinking about how, as a video game company that does make money off their hardware, you're missing out on the customers that are going to double dip. So you make the first one LCD, a little bit more basic, just focus on making sure the product is safe and usable, and then you expand upon that and you make it OLED. But of course, the side benefit of that is you get people that buy the base model, and then they're going to buy the OLED model as well.
Yeah,
so
no,
if
you're
you
right.
launch both models at first, people are going to buy either or. They're not going to buy both.
Totally.
So
No,
I
I
think
understand. I
for
get
a
that.
business aspect, yeah. But at the same time, I agree. Why not just do both?
Because of what you just said.
Yeah, I know. It just sucks. I really wish they did both. But at the same, Steam Deck also did the same thing.
Yeah, they did.
The original was LCD. The upgrade was OLED.
But I am excited for the Switch 2. I think there's a lot of games that I want to play on the Switch 2. I haven't played any Zelda games. I haven't played any of the Nintendo library in the past
As someone
10,
that
15, 20 years. Like, I haven't played Nintendo in so long. So, I mean, at some point, depending on the price that we see, I'll probably end up getting the Switch 2.
yeah.
If the OLED's there, I'll definitely buy it. I'll try to get
So-
it day one. But if not, I'll probably wait for a little while. I'm almost tempted, though, to
Mm-hmm.
buy the OLED Switch 1, see if it can hold over and play all of the new games that come out.
I don't think it's going to.
Nah.
I think the original
Yeah, you
Switch
gotta
is
get
so
the new.
outdated with the hardware that it's not going
I
to run
think
the
so,
new
too.
games. Or there's not going to be a
Just really want that
crossover.
OLED screen.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a crossover.
Although I say
with-
that and we have Portals and we play them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But that's a really good LCD screen, and I think
yeah, so is this, though.
I think the Portal screen size is the same as what the Switch 2 is going to be.
Huh.
So that'll be really nice. I was just going to ask you not ask you first, before I get into asking you what I want to. So the Switch 2 is more than likely going to have an LCD screen, but nothing's confirmed there yet. The Joy-Con controllers that go onto the side, they're magnetic, and then you can still disconnect them and use them separately, but then there's the second function that was seen in the trailer where the controllers are sliding on the table, on the surface, whatever, like a mouse. So
Oh,
the
that's
thought
cool.
is
Yeah, I forgot
that
about
there's
that.
going to be a mouse feature. My question to you, and I think I say this from someone that wishes on the PlayStation there were more games that used mouse and keyboard, like Baldur's Gate 3. Do you think that these developers and Nintendo themselves are going to utilize that as an actual mouse and allow games to be used like they would on PC?
If
Or do you think it's not, and it's going to
if
be a
that's
gimmick and
there-
it's going to fade?
Whether it's a gimmick and it's going to fade or not, it's going to be used.
Yeah.
The developers are going to use it. Somebody's going to try it out. The options to be able to use that are going to be there. So, I mean, they're going to find out whether it works or not. And, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think I would use it. I have never been a mouse and keyboard kind of a guy. I feel like I've always been a controller person. So,
Well, let me say this, because we're talking about the Switch and it's a handheld. Mostly, you can use it as either handheld or TV. Tell me right now, handheld or TV for the majority of the time. If you had a Switch, which would you use, handheld or TV?
probably handheld.
Same here, handheld. And that's because, now that we both have Portals, like I see the benefit of being on a handheld, being more mobile. Oh my gosh.
More mobile.
Mobile.
More mobile.
So,
Nice.
and the reason I'm saying that is because when we game, our time is valuable. Where we are and the circumstance we're in dictates everything. So, for me, a handheld game is probably going to be more appealing than a normal game. So, I wanted to bring up what we've talked about for a while as it relates to video games. We want to dictate, we want to be able to review things We want to be able to give people opinions.
Speaking of ease of accessibility.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about how you and I would define a rating system based on the accessibility of a parent, of a dad. So that, oh my gosh, you have notes. I don't have notes. I'm just here for a good time.
Looks like one of us takes things seriously here. Okay, I'm so sorry.
Before you jump in.
Two of us take things seriously here.
Thank you, guys. Okay, so before we get into it, I wanted to kind of continue what I was saying. And like we are...
Before I was rudely interrupted.
For anyone listening out there, Mike and I want to create a scale that is defined by how accessible it is for a dad to play in terms of video games. We want to do this for movies and TVs, but right now we're just talking video games, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we want to define a scale that works on the level that a dad would be able to enjoy a game. So in my mind, I think of, can I play this on the go? Mm-hmm. Can I play this in small chunks? Mm-hmm. Can I put it to the side, not play it for a week because life is crazy, come back to it and pick up where I left off? Or is there a relearning curve or whatever the heck you want to call it? That's my thought. Sure. You have notes. I would love you to jump into it. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like I judge games the same way that I always have, right? Like, I feel like a good game is always going to be a good game. But I do feel like now I take into account different factors. Now that my time is more limited, I have more responsibilities outside of the hobbies that I want to do. I think
we get to have responsibilities, by the way. We are so happy that we have those responsibilities.
So happy.
Amazing responsibilities.
Every minute of the day. Yeah, they really are. I don't mean to be facetious.
I don't know why I was trying to be sarcastic.
But there are definitely times where you wish you had the click remote and you could put it on pause and you could go play a video game or you could go watch a movie or do something and be like, man, I wish I could just escape being an adult for a minute. And whether you have kids or not, I think that's something that everybody can relate to.
It's just the thing that you lose control of the situation of when things happen.
Exactly.
That's all we're lamenting.
100%. So I took ease of access into account in my scale. Bite-sized pieces or larger bites on the go. Is it appropriate for kids? Can they walk in and see you playing this game?
Yes, that's a good one.
Can you put it down and can you come back to it? Do you have to do it all at once? Is it something that you can put down for a longer period of time if you have to, come back to and pick up right from where you left off? Mm-hmm. The length of the game. How long does this game take to complete? Is this a 100-hour game? Is it a 40-hour game? Is it a 20-hour game? Is it a 10-hour game? Microtransactions. Is this a pay-to-win game? Because I don't have interest in that. What is the ease of play?
And we don't have expendable funds in that way on ourselves.
Exactly.
Like, we'd rather put our money towards our family and the things we get to do with them. So why would we spend it on a pay-to-win game?
Exactly. The ease of play. Am I going to hop in and am I just going to get absolutely railroaded by everybody I'm playing with or against? Or am I going to have some fun and am I going to have a chance? I don't like those games either, so those are hard for me to judge. Like, it's hard for me to judge a Call of Duty multiplayer just because
you never really get into it. Whereas I love it.
But yeah, exactly. So that's
I would say that's a very dad game.
That is exactly. I would agree with that. Yeah. What is the community like? That's part of it too.
Oh yeah.
You know, is it a toxic community? Is it something that we can hop in? And again, can our kids hear the chat if they overhear something? Can they be okay with what they just heard?
Or do you have to wear headphones every time you play it? Like, do you have to go through one thing to be able to make it abled?
Exactly.
To use. I didn't say that right.
I don't know what you said, but
Keep
I
going.
agree with you. I don't think he knows what he said. Navigation. No idea. And what I mean, I have no idea how to put this, but like, am I jumping into a game where I'm just being dropped into the middle of nowhere and there are no arrows, there's no map waypoints, I just have to figure it out? Because like Elden Ring, like Hollow Knight, when you start out in Hollow Knight and you're just like...
Yeah, Tunic is the same way. There's another really good example of that type of game that's just like, jump in, figure out the buttons, figure out how to do all of the mechanics.
Exactly.
Which is fun, but it does take a certain level of concentration and puzzle solving ability, essentially.
Exactly. So those are all things that I want to take into account. and will kind of affect the way I look at games or maybe judge games. But I'm still going to kind of judge games the same way that maybe I have in the past.
So
maybe,
is that all your points?
Yes.
Okay. Can I just jump into
and I
it
have
real
a
quick?
scale from 1 to 10, and I have each of them. If you'd like me to go through them, those are just kind of the things and the factors that I'm going to take into account, right?
My mouth is like
But no, I want to hear.
molasses.
Please tell me like other factors that you're maybe thinking
Actually,
of where
no.
I have a blind spot.
I have nope. I have no other factors to consider at this point in
Just wanna
time.
hop
Wasn't
right in
thinking
and hear
about that.
this.
I was going to give you an example and have you tell me what you would give it on a normal scale, and then what you would give it on the dad scale.
Sure. Well,
but before
so
we
maybe
do that,
this-
can you run me through
Yeah,
these numbers?
okay.
This is
So
fantastic,
we're gonna
dude.
start,
I love this.
We're going to start at the bottom.
Okay.
A 1 is awful. It's a pay-to-win game. It's broken. It's greedy. It's a scam. It's horrible. Okay, it's an awful experience. We're never picking this up.
Okay.
Okay, a 1 is just
Broken.
yeah,
Completely.
It's the pits.
It's you can't play it without hitting your head against the wall.
Exactly.
And then of course it's cost prohibitive, and
You want to
can't
take a
just
shower
jump in.
after you played this just
Yeah.
for a little while.
You can't either just pay up front for it or like
Exactly.
grind to win.
Exactly. I can't remember
Okay.
that game.
All
Like
right.
what was the game called that was a complete scam?
Oh, it had realistic graphics in their cinematics or whatever,
Yeah,
but
I
it
can't
turned
remember.
out it was garbage. I don't know.
I don't need to say their name on air. Anyways,
Yeah.
a 2 is you barely did enough to not be a scam. Okay, you got the game across the line, and you did enough for me not to file a complaint to some federal overseeing organization in which country you came from.
But
or
you
were
still
developed
cursed
in.
that studio under
Exactly.
your breath.
Okay,
Yeah.
a 30 or a 3.
A 30.
A 3, not a 30. My fault. But I look at that as a 30%. And if you got a 30% in school, your teacher gave you a talking to. The note on your test was, please come see me after class. We need to discuss what happened.
I would say at a 30%, you're not even getting a, hey, we need to talk. It is,
So-
you're hopeless. And it's not even they say anything. They just look at you and they have the look of, you're hopeless and I wish I could help you, but I don't have the time and I don't get paid enough to deal
100%.
with someone that scores a 30% on a test.
Did you choose the wrong answers on purpose?
Exactly. But I feel
Yeah, they're like,
that's
you
almost-
intentionally tried to screw me as a teacher.
I feel like that's the 40% range. If you
No.
got
No.
in the 40% range, your teacher didn't care. If you got in the 30% range, you got a note. If you got in the 40% range, your teacher was
Yeah,
just
you
moving
maybe
on.
got a
Kind
note.
of a weird thing.
But when I'm saying like at a 30%, damn, this is a bad tangent to go on right now, but I'm going to say it anyways because I'm going to stick to my guns. When you're at a 30%, there is maybe a note sent home to the parents, but there is no, as a teacher, I'm going to work with you to improve this. They're just like, your child doesn't care, or your child is never
They're
going
here,
to
but they're
succeed
not
in my
here.
class. Yeah, exactly. Like, but they're not going to spend the time to say, I need you to come join me after class so we can figure this out. The 40% range and the 50% range, that's where that happens. 30%, they're like, yeah, you can just go
I still
see
think
admin.
there's that weird in between the 30 and 50% where the teacher is just like, this kid, man.
Look, to each their
Anyways.
own.
Moving
know.
on, the 4, see below, okay? It's just better than the 3. If we're in that range, if we're giving a game a 4, you did just better than a 3 because we're splitting hairs at that point at why you're doing a little bit better, okay? A 5, you're failing, right? We are not D for degrees. We're failing. You are now failing. This
Failing.
is not a good game. There multiple
Failing.
things are broken in this game.
But you could see the potential for it to be be
Sure. There
Okay.
are things that work. There are
All right.
things that don't work. There's a clear end. There's maybe a clear path,
Mm-hmm.
or there's a clear plot or a reason for the things that you're doing.
But you're pulling your teeth to
But
get
you're
there.
pulling your teeth. It's maybe just broken along the entirety of the journey. It's painful. The mechanics don't work, or it's just not a fun game, or it's just not something that we're into, right? Mm-hmm. A 6, I think we're, again, D equals degree, right? But if you as a studio are aiming for what I aimed for in college, I think that's saying something. You shouldn't have the same attitude that I had going
Yeah.
into class for your products.
No, I agree.
So D equals degree. 60%. We're doing okay. We're getting over the line. We're doing more things good than we are bad.
Yep.
We're completing this game maybe, or we're putting in the time to see it through.
Some people are going to like it.
Most people aren't, but I mean, maybe most people are, but it's kind of a cult classic.
Dude, and it doesn't have to be for everybody. It can be its own thing. It can exist in its own world at that point.
Right.
Absolutely. All right. So
I'm going to speed through this.
Okay.
7, we're passing. We're average. That's an average game. Okay. 7.5 is an average game.
Okay.
We're doing most things correct. We're putting out a good product. We're putting out something that's fun, that we want to play, that's enjoyable. It's a good experience. There's a good story. There's good mechanics. 8, we're above average. We're doing something that is drawing you back, that's addicting, that is giving you a reason to want to log in, to want to play, whether it's the story bringing you back and it's an emotional story, or it's relating to you, or it's a mechanic, or it's a combat style, or whatever it is.
Yep.
Something is clicking. It's an above average game. You're having a lot of fun.
And it has an addiction to it that you can't stop.
A 9, it's a great game. Maybe we're missing one or two things.
9 is an amazing game.
Maybe we're missing one or two things away from
Yeah,
being perfect.
exactly. But it's like, it's not only great, it's not only addicting, but every time you play it, you're like, dang, this game really sings.
Yeah.
Like
It hits.
it's doing something really, really, really well.
It's a game that resonates with you, that maybe you want to put onto your list of, this is a top 10 game for me all time.
100%.
It's a game that has that ease of access. I can sit down and I can play this game in bite-sized pieces.
Oh my gosh. Dude,
I can sit down and I can play this game while eating bite-sized pizzas.
Oh, let's do it. Bagel bites.
But yeah, it's an amazing game. It's something that we really enjoy, that puts a smile on our face every time we're playing it. And then a 10 is perfect, right? It is the perfect game. And this is why I gave Cyberpunk a 9.5, because it is an amazing game. It is top 5 on my list. But there was a couple of things that maybe kept it from being a perfect game in my eyes, and just in my opinion, but it wasn't quite the perfect game. Whereas a 10 is just an absolute masterpiece. There's not very many 10s. It's a perfect game that you will play. Maybe you won't play endlessly, but is a classic game that will go down as an all-timer. And, I mean, maybe in your eyes, it's the best game you've ever played because you're rating it, but that's my opinion.
So in my eyes, and my 2 cents on what a 10 is, just really quick. A 10 is something that is, not only does it exceed expectations on what that type of game does, it also either invents or makes you think, oh my gosh, I can't believe no one's either done this before, or they've done it this way, or, I mean, this is executed to perfection in what they're doing, right? Like, that's a 10 out of 10 is perfect. I think I'm more generous in what a 10 out of 10 would be versus you, and that's totally fine. It's just literally people's opinions. That's why we have aggregate scores on aggregate websites like Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes and all that fun stuff. So anyways, real quick, I just want to give people a taste of what they can expect when we're talking about a real score. No, I shouldn't say it that way. What would you like, a normie score? I don't know.
I think
like
I'm going to wrap the
score
dad
and
thing
dad.
into my score, I guess, is what I'm trying
Really?
to say. Is like,
You want to do it that
put
way?
that in there. Is I'm going to say, like, okay, well, this, like, for example, right now I'm playing Dragon Age.
Okay.
I guess I really haven't tried to play that on the portal.
Can you put this in like terms of Cyberpunk, because you finished it, you've done everything.
Of course.
Please.
Yeah.
That would be a great example.
So I played Cyberpunk for over 100. I put over 100 hours into Cyberpunk because I tried to complete as much of it as I could. I loved it. It was so much fun.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
Dude, one of my favorite games that I've ever turned on. I loved the story. I loved all of the different paths that I could take. I loved that game. As a dad, I could play that game on my portal on the couch, while I guess as a dad doesn't really count, but as if my wife wanted to watch a reality show at the
No,
end
but
of the
that's the
night,
point,
and
like-
I wanted to play a game, right? I could turn that on. It ran unbelievably smooth on the Portal. It ran unbelievably smooth on the PlayStation. Everything about it was amazing to me. There was a couple of things that I could nitpick on, but I guess if I'm thinking about all of the aspects of being a dad, like I definitely didn't play it around my kids because it's a very violent game. It's a very gory game. I don't think I would dock the game because of that. The
game itself, but you being able to play it in front of your. Let me say it this way.
I'm trying to play games when I'm not around.
Let me cut to the center
in
of this.
general, I'm not trying to play the game with my kid.
Mike,
I guess.
instead of giving me a full-on review right now, let me cut to the chase. What would you give it on a normal scale without dad considerations?
I give it the same score,
Okay, which is, once again,
a 9.
okay, a 9. What would you give it on the dad scale?
A 9. I'm gonna give it the same score,
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
so then your aggregate would be a 9.
a 9.
even
Because I'm
with the
trying. I'm not,
downfalls.
like, there's nothing about the game that changes. Like being,
Yeah.
I don't know how to maybe word this, but there was nothing about the game that being a dad would make me score it differently, or looking at the things that we're taking into account would make me
Yeah.
score it differently.
Or
Like,
ability to be able to play it. I'm saying,
Yeah,
okay, let
like-
me say it this way. If you had to put it down for a week and come back to
yeah,
it,
you can come right back to it. I
and you
definitely
would know
put it
where
down.
you are
Yeah.
in the story and what you have to
kind
do.
of go back maybe if you really wanted to dive into all
Sure.
the lore and remember everything you did. You got to look at all the last missions that you completed.
But if you just wanted to jump in and do
Yeah.
a mission, you could do it.
yeah, of
Okay.
course.
All right.
And you can
That's
hop
fair.
in, you can hop out, you can play it for 10 minutes, you can save the game, and you can hop out. You just
Yeah.
can't do it in the middle of combat, just like any other game. But that's why I'm not like, I think that makes this game that much more accessible for an audience.
Mm-hmm.
In my eyes, it's that same, because I still had nitpicks playing it on the go, playing it in those bite-sized pieces, or playing it on the Portal before the Portal got the update, I guess.
Yeah.
That kind of docked it for me, I guess, a little bit. So that's why I say that my scores are the same, and I don't think
Okay.
I look at it differently. I take those things into account, and like when I play a game, maybe in Dragon Age is the good one. And this is a good example because I can't play that on the Portal. I don't think it's going to run as well. Where that is, I can't play it in bite-sized pieces. I have to spend a little bit more time. I have to dedicate myself to that one game. I have to remember exactly what I'm doing. I have to, if I want to dive into it and remember everything and get the full story. And maybe I dock that a little bit as a dad, or maybe I look at that a little bit less than I do Cyberpunk because of that. So maybe that's where that'll come into play a little bit, if
Well-
that makes sense. And if that's acceptable for
Yeah.
you.
I don't, that there is no decisive way to decide anything right now. And honestly, that's more so just because we're not,
Side.
we haven't done any actual reviews of anything in that world yet. So we'll figure it out as we go along. I will say my prediction, I think multiplayer games are going to score low because you can't step away. Like if you're playing a PvP game, you can't step away. If your wife needs help,
Even
if your
help
kid
either,
needs
you
you,
can't really-
you can't, like you have to quit the game and then you lose progress and all that stuff. So I'm just saying, my guess,
Yeah, I get
we're
that.
going to score those type of games lower. Single player games will score higher.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's blow through some of these things real quick that I wanted to talk about beyond video games because I don't. Yeah, I think that covers anything that we were going to talk about video games. Real quick, Daredevil new trailer came out. Yay
Very
or nay? You
excited.
excited?
Very excited.
Yep.
Very gory.
Yes.
Muse,
Mm-hmm.
White Tiger,
Mm-hmm.
both pictured, as well as Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah.
Can't wait. I'm really excited.
Cool.
Every bit of it looked fun.
Perfect.
What about
I love
you?
it. I'm super excited. Loved every season of the Daredevil show. I even like the Punisher series. So happy that
Who's gonna
Frank
die?
is back. Of the original cast,
Who's dead?
or do you like anybody?
Foggy's going.
I think Foggy's going. Yeah, Foggy's
I
gonna
think so too.
die.
Either Foggy's going or
Karen, but I don't think it
I
is.
think it's
I
gonna
think
be
I think they're
Foggy.
gonna keep Karen. I think Foggy's gonna die off.
me too.
The NFL playoffs, the wild card rounded out. Oh, geez. The wild card round finished up, and we have the teams that we know are moving on to the divisional round. You have in the AFC the Chiefs playing Houston in Arrowhead Stadium. You have to Buffalo playing come on, help me out here. Baltimore.
Yeah.
You have Buffalo playing Baltimore in Buffalo. And then you have on the NFC side of things, the number 1 seed, which is Detroit playing. Who won the Rams. Sorry. Detroit's hosting the Rams, and you have the Eagles hosting.
Who won that Bucks game?
Come on, who won that game?
Who won that Bucks game?
Who won that Bucks game?
Who won that
Who's
Bucks
the other
game?
team? Who's the other team? Oh no.
Oh no.
Nick, you know these
man.
things.
See,
You're a
this
big
is what
sport
happens
ball
when the
person.
Seahawks and Oregon lose in one weekend.
Yeah, we don't
just
pay nearly as
stop
close of
caring.
attention. No. It's Washington. Sorry,
Thank
Washington,
you.
the Commanders. So, anyways, those are the teams that have advanced. Real quick, who do you think's winning?
I just
AFC
really,
and NFC. Tell me.
I don't.
Who's winning the
I
AFC?
really want to see the Lions win the NFC.
Okay.
I think they are not going to.
But you wanna see them.
Maybe.
Who
And
do you
then
want?
I think the AFC is. Please be the Bills and the Ravens.
Yeah,
No, they're playing this weekend.
they're playing
I'm
this
so
week.
sorry.
What are you talking about?
I was gonna say
Okay, no, just what team do you think is going to win the AFC?
Bills
and which
or the Ravens is what I meant.
And who
I think
do you
either
want
of
to
those
win?
teams win. I have
you don't
no
care?
horse. I do not
Okay.
care. Just anyone but Kansas City.
And then NFC, you already said that you
Lions.
want the Lions.
Yeah.
Who do you think's going to win? Say it. You know it's going to happen.
I think the Lions are gonna win because I think the Eagles have a meltdown.
Oh. Nah. Sorry.
don't think when
Eagles
it
have been
comes
there
down
too
to-
much. I
Yeah,
hate
but Nick
Philly so
Sirianni
much, and
is
that's why they're
still
going to.
such a he's still such a little snowflake.
Yeah,
sometimes.
don't like him. Don't like him.
He's such a.
So, anyways, I'm going to go with in the AFC, Bills finally get it done, and they go to the Super Bowl. NFC, I am. Oh, no. Yep, I'm going Eagles. I'm going to say it sucks. Everyone's going to hate it. We're all going to be super pissed after the NFC Championship game that
think
the
the
Eagles
Lions get it
beat the
done.
Lions, but I think that's what's going to happen.
think so.
Anyways, and then to win everything, I'm going to go Bills. I think this is their year. How about you?
Dude, I'll believe the Bills win when the Bills win. I think it's gonna be Lions Ravens, and I'm gonna take the Lions. I think this is
You
the
think this is
Lions'
their year?
Yeah.
So either way, we think someone that has not either won in a really
I
long
hope
time
so, man.
or
That's what
at
I was
all.
saying. I hope it's the Bills or the
Yeah,
Ravens over the
agreed.
Chiefs. Please. God.
Agreed. All right. Well, that was it, guys. That was our dad cap. You got to listen to us talk about the Switch 2. You may or may not be interested in it. That's up to you to decide. We also discussed how we are going to rate video games on our end with the dad scale, the normal scale, and then I would say the aggregate scale, right, between the two.
We'll just cross the
Yeah.
bridge when we get there. Let's review
We're
two
both-
games apiece or one
Yeah.
game apiece, and we will come to Jesus together.
Oh, we both talked about Daredevil and our excitement levels, and then of course we both predicted who's going to win the NFL playoffs. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We'll give you a message from ourselves, and then be back with some action daddies.
Time? Do you have any time? Sir, do you have time?
Oh my gosh, why are you talking to me, you old man? on
Sir,
the
because I
sidewalk?
can't find enough time. Sir, do you have
Oh
time?
my god, stop bothering me.
Where can I find time? I don't have enough time in the day.
Oh,
Do you need more time in the day? Do you not have enough time in the day to get everything you need to get done?
Wow.
Well, come down here. It's south of the border. South of the equator is what we meant. Not south of the border.
why did we
Down here,
become
south of the-
Australian?
Because we're an Australian-based company.
No, you were an old-timey American and you became
Down here,
Australian.
south of the equator, we have more time than you have to know what to do with. If you need time, come down to Australia. We love just having fun. Everything's trying to kill you, but it's a good time.
I can't believe.
And if you're looking for time, I can't give you more, but I can give you a good time. I can't give you more time, but I tell you what, it's a good time here. We have good fun, okay? Just stay away from the water, the snakes, the birds, the plants, the animals, and anything else that's moving or not moving. Just keep your hands to yourself, okay? But if you need time, come to Australia. Brought to you by Australia.
I'm so lost. And that was so offensive to Australians. And welcome on back, guys. We're going to go ahead and jump into what we hope might end up being our favorite segment of Dad Meets World, a little game we call Action Daddies. It is Dungeons and Dragons. And Nick's playing beats, I think.
Oh, yeah. Nick's getting down, dude. Yeah,
Oh, you
man.
played the theme song?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought we
Did you
weren't
not hear
doing
that?
drops. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike and I are not wearing headphones, and we don't have a speaker that's telling us what the sounds are that Nick's playing. So it's all just blind. Honestly, Nick could just have us on mute the whole time. We wouldn't know, and we would have just recorded it an entire episode doing our thing. So Action Daddies is my take on D&D, along with the assistance of both Mike and Nick on trying to harness it into a fun story where they're both characters going through a situation, trying to defeat whatever evil person in the story that we're telling is. The scenario that we have decided on is a buddy cop movie or a buddy cop situation. Thank you, world. So thank you. That was definitely the word that makes way more sense than what I'm trying to say. So anyways, we are going to run through that type of a situation. And last time we picked the weapons of each individual, and then off screen we're picking the items, filling out the rest of the character sheet. But right now what I want to do is run through a prologue for Nick's character, Hugh Cochran. That way we can get a better understanding, I can get a better understanding of how to manage the scenarios or the situations, and you guys get an understanding of what I'm trying to do.
I just want to apologize again for Nick's disgusting sense of humor.
What?
Continue. Hugh Cochran. What are we, 7?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it's nothing of taste, but that's Nick in general. So when we're running through this, I just want you to understand, as to the audience and to you, Nick, I want you to understand that this is a test run. Things are going to go wrong. If you need to pause, if you need to ask questions, please do. This is not something that's like, oh, I want everyone to be so involved. If we were trying to make something that was very professional, we would have practiced off air. Guess what, guys? We don't have time. We don't care. We're just going to have fun. You're along for the ride.
Nick, this is the place to make mistakes.
That's right. And so we're going to jump into it.
Not when we're staring down the barrel of a double shotgun.
Oh, no.
Now is the time to make the mistake.
Yes.
Oh, no.
No, we're good. I got it. Okay, Nick.
Yes.
Let me pull up my doc.
Hugh.
Oh, okay. I guess, yeah. Call me Hugh during this segment.
I don't know, and this is where it's like, if I need you to give me a response, I don't know. Do you just want me to do this? Give you like a hand to say like, hey, you're up?
Sure.
Okay, cool. All right. Hugh Cochran. Nick, you are... Sorry, let me try that again. Nick, you are Hugh Cochran. Growing up, you were a bright kid with the personality to match.
Did you just fall?
Just try and scoot forward.
Oh, my God. I got an injury sitting down. Tears his ACL sitting there.
Guys, it's been 3 nights without incidents, okay? What are we doing?
Change that board to 0 behind you.
So, Nick, your character, Hugh Cochran, growing up, you were a bright kid with the personality to match. A natural-born leader with a heightened sense of how to read people. Son of a widow after his father passed, and you ended up moving from house to house as your mother was trading tricks for shelter, if you know what I mean. The men she brought comfort to brought nothing but misery to everyone else. Hugh and his younger siblings were subject to both physical and emotional abuse. And as Hugh grew older, he felt the need to defend the ones he loved. He took many different classes in martial arts, and it led him to be able to feel like if they were in a situation, he could take care of his family. But one night, at the age of 17, he found his mother unconscious, bloodied on the ground. Standing over her is the man she was currently seeing at that point. He's a drunk. His name is Pete. He's got a big ego and a small frame.
What was his nickname?
Big Pete.
Big Pete.
He
And
looks...
Hugh Cochran have a problem.
So, anyways, yes, Hugh Cochran has a problem because he looks at this man and that man looks back at him. What do you do?
Okay, so what happened right before this moment that we're looking at each other?
Okay, so your mother is unconscious on the ground, and you can tell that Pete is standing over her, and you can tell he's obviously drunk. And
Again.
and you automatically assume that he's the one that knocked your mom out.
And did I hear something to come in on this moment? Did I walk up into it?
Yeah, you were.
I hear-
Yeah,
Is she
sorry.
alive?
You walked into the room because
No, she's dead.
no, she's unconscious, not
Oh.
dead. I just said unconscious. You don't know. You don't know.
Okay.
She could be dead. She could be alive.
But sorry, so yeah. did
But
I
yeah,
hear
so
something right?
you hear noises going on downstairs, and you go to check on it, and you see your mother unconscious on the ground, and Big Pete, standing over her, and then he looks at you. What do you do?
Twist his dick.
I was gonna say, I was like, I think because of the skill set that I know, if he looked angry, which does he look angry?
He looks angry,
Okay,
and once again,
because he
your
looks angry, I'm gonna
reminder,
walk up to
Nick, Hugh, reminder. You're 17, and at this point, you've taken martial art classes that specialize in self-defense.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
all right.
Okay. And actually, last question:
Yes.
How big is he?
I said he is a big ego with a small frame.
All right. Well, I'm definitely taking him out then. I'm gonna whatever martial art
Okay.
hold is, like, put him on the ground, hold him down, and say what happened.
Okay, so you decide to go for physical altercation versus verbal de-escalation. Okay, so this is where we get into rolling. So I have my 20-sided die here, right?
Excellent.
Okay, so
Magic trick.
I would say this individual, you at this point, we're just going to do something straight across the board because I have your character fleshed out on your character sheet, but that's you in current day. This is the past. Okay, I just want to explain that. So he is normally a 10 on whatever. What would you call that, my fellow Baldur's Gate 3 player? Like, he's a 10 on his it's not hit points. That's his health. It's not his. Is it his
I
defense?
thought it was like power.
His power is just like you have to. Okay, so I'm getting way too in the weeds. Let's say it this way. Okay, so you got this guy standing over you. He has a small frame. He's not easy or he's not difficult to defeat, but he's there and he's drunk and he's fired up. But the drunk stupor also adds to his inability to
He's weakened.
attack. Yeah, he's weakened. He's weakened. So normally he'd be a 10, but he's a -2 because of that. You just have to roll something on this 20-sided die that's better than an 8. You ready?
Perfect. Let's do it.
Does he have any bonuses?
You do not have any bonuses at this point. Actually, you know what? Because of the sake of the story, yeah, you have rage right now, so you have a +4 attack bonus.
Whoa,
Yeah.
dude, +4, crazy.
All right.
I rolled a 12, didn't I?
And you rolled a 19,
Oh,
which
shit.
with your bonus,
Doesn't matter.
is a 23.
So I accidentally broke his arm.
So
Or killed him.
you knock him down, and unfortunately, when you knock him down, his neck hits the side table next to the couch, and it snaps his neck, and he dies.
Wait, did you say unfortunately?
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
I mean that's fair. Hugh,
They coming for you.
that's a good point. This man beat the crap out of your mother. You did what you had to do. You regret nothing. I agree with you on that one. But you call the paramedics or you call 911. They show up. They pick up your mom. Paramedics notice that, there's a trail of blood leading off somewhere. So someone investigates and they find the body of Pete the drunk. And unfortunately, they call the cops. and they come and arrest you. You admit to what happened. But once again, you're 17. It's something where it ends up being manslaughter because you didn't try to kill him. It just happened to be that when
He's
fell.
also not 18 yet, so
Yeah.
thank God.
Yeah, so you have that going for you. So anyways, you serve your time in juvie, prison. I don't know where they put you when
We
you're
don't need
underage.
specifics.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So you go serve your time wherever they put you, out on the farm with the other puppies. And so then, but you're in there, and I would definitely add to this real quick, you don't have much contact with your family. They're not responding. You only get one letter from your mother that says you're a disappointment to the family and you've ruined the rest of our lives because you injured this guy and you ruined their situation. Your siblings and your mom
told
didn't
you,
have
wait
a
for
place
what's
to
coming.
stay anymore. So unfortunately, in this situation, you decided to do what was right by attacking this individual that attacked your mother, but it did negatively affect you. Good news. When you get out, even though you are no longer connected to your family, you don't know where your siblings are. You don't have much of a record, a little record, but that record isn't enough to keep you out of the army. So you enlist because you know that even though you don't have a family anymore, the family was always the country we served. Rock, flag, and eagle. 5 years later.
Okay.
Actually, no, hold on. I skipped a bit. Sorry. So that was you. So basically what we just did, you had option A or B. Either you attack or you do verbal and you persuade and you try to you talk him down because you're good with people, which I said earlier. So you probably would have had a good chance and could have gone that route. No matter what, you would have ended up in the army because that's the end game for me. All right. So does that make sense on how we do that? Sometimes it will branch out.
Does it impact what I
Character development?
go into the army for?
Oh, yeah. No, so that's a good point. I was thinking about that. And if you have to work your way up further, so you're more of a grunt now. But if you talked him off a ledge, you would end up going to to the academy in the Air Force or something. So you would start at a higher position. I don't know but see, I could do that, but I don't think it would really affect the game because I don't know how to do that yet. And I really don't care. So as far as I'm concerned, you would have ended up in the army either way, or you would have ended up in the Air Force or something.
There's always a good tutor, whether it's a teacher or some bum on the side who's just really good with, their guns.
That's right. But once again,
secret agent, the guy's either gonna go to Annapolis and learn how to use a rifle really well.
yeah.
If anyone ever teaches you or offers you martial arts or weaponry lessons, that's a bum on the side of the road. Nick,
No,
don't
me.
take that class.
No, he's talking to himself.
What?
Huh?
I don't know.
Yeah, I lost the thread. Anyways,
Don't take martial arts weaponry classes from bums. is the
when you said
moral
that, I
of
was
the
like,
story.
wait, how did we get here?
No,
I
he
have
said
no
some
idea
bum on
how
the
we
side
got
of the
here.
road. It's who's teaching you classes on the side of the road?
Oh, no.
And maybe I said it wrong. So not a bum on the side of the road, but
Some bum.
no. Just shut up for a second. Fuck.
A
Just shut up
non-homeless
for a
bum.
second. Fuck. Fuck. No. So saying you're either gonna learn it in school or you're gonna learn it on the streets. That's more so what I was getting at.
Mm-hmm.
So he's either gonna go to war as a grunt and he's gonna learn it from a really good sniper, teacher, coach who's just out in the field.
Yeah.
The bum. Sorry. But then, or he's gonna go to school.
So a
get
derogatory
training.
bum. Dude, you don't have to get so
Oh,
angry.
calm down,
I need a
Siegel.
bigger table. God damn it, guys. I'm just kidding.
You provided the table
Nick.
for yourself.
That table is at least 2.5 feet long. Be grateful.
Anyway, get back to my character.
I think we're done with your character.
No, we're not actually. I've got one last part.
He has a rage issue.
So now we cut to not modern day yet. I have this last bit. Okay, so you go to the army, you work your way up the ranks, you end up joining the CIA as an operative. with your extensive level of trauma, the government deems you a perfect fit for their latest spy program, the Eagle Fire Initiative. Not only was this program highly secretive, but it was also incredibly controversial amongst the top of the military leaders, the elite of the military leaders. You'd be put through the most physically demanding training, horrifying tortures. 3 of the other recruits ended up in the loony bin, never truly recovered. But as you graduate to the applause of nobody, you graduate determined to protect the one thing you love more than anything in this world. Can anyone guess what that is? Mike, can you guess what that is?
For his character?
That's right. His country.
Oh.
Okay. I skipped a line in there, but I don't think it really matters.
I wouldn't have guessed that. So
yeah,
it's okay.
physically training that ended up killing a few people.
We got there.
You'd be subject to the test of mental fortitude by enduring the most horrifying tortures. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm a great writer.
You are.
Man. Okay, cut to 5 years
Visionary.
later.
Just screwing up
modern
with speaking.
cut to modern day. This is where we know Hugh as he is now. You awake in a bed at one of the finest hotels in New Orleans, Chateau de Debauchery. Next to you lies a beautiful woman you barely know, sleeping soundly. It's early in the morning, but hey, no sleep for those with a mission to complete. As you get out of bed to make coffee, you hear the bedroom acquaintance stir, and then you hear a click. Turn around to see a woman sitting upright, pointing your own gun at you. What do you do?
Is she clothed?
Shh. Why are you making me say this? But no.
All right. See. Okay. No,
Yeah,
that
no.
helps my situation. That's
No,
helps.
she's just the blankets carefully adorned over her
Okay.
to protect us from falling under the scrutiny of whatever that film, the ratings system for movies. To avoid that situation.
Sure.
Yes.
So I guess what I would say is, I know he's charismatic, so
Yes.
I think I would turn it into a little joke of something along the lines of like, "I'm glad we're switching roles," saying like, she's now pointing the gun at him.
Okay, so she's profiled Nick and knows exactly what he's trying to do. So good luck with this one.
That's exactly what he would do.
Sorry, say that again. What would you say? You
So glad to see we're switching roles. So like turn it into a joke.
So okay,
Just
you're
like,
taking it
oh.
casual. Okay.
So he's
exactly.
trying to flirt with
Okay.
his assassin.
Correct.
Okay. Your remarks have no effect on this woman as you try to charm her and convince her that you're actually a playful soul instead
gonna
of
die
wanting to be
before we
attacked
start?
or
Maybe.
wanting to attack you.
Gonna need you to think a little bit more than with your dick.
So
We're
we're
gonna
gonna.
need you guys to watch a fucking James Bond movie because
I'm gonna need you to play Dungeons and Dragons.
You got to recognize James Bond wouldn't, but he would say. She would say, "Okay, fine. Let me say this. She is not amused with your joke, and she says to you, you know what you have done, Mr. Cochran. It's been a great time. No, it's too many accents, Mr. Cochran. Nah, I can't.
He's
I
got
can't
a
do your
roll.
last name. Hugh, you know I had a good time. Dang it, I can't do the accent. Hugh, you know I had a great time, but this isn't the way we were destined to be. It's time for us to end our night, even though it's early morning.
exactly.
She's not really timely with the quick
Wit.
wit. Yeah. Okay, what do you say? What do you do? What's your next move? As you feel the pressure of her fingers starting to inch closer towards pulling the trigger on you, you have one last moment. What do you do?
Whoops. Let's see here.
I'm gonna write something.
Mike, you can also help him right now.
Hey.
Like, Nick, let me say it this way. You can also like you don't have to pretend like you're thinking that quickly. Like you can say, "What's around me? Like what's in the room? What are we doing? Like think or like what's her state of mind? You think or I don't know. We kind of covered that in the last one. So, anyways,
I feel like I've been asking those questions, right?
okay.
Right?
Sorry, I should
feel
give
like
you
I
time.
haven't, right? I feel like I've been asking those questions.
You've been asking questions, yeah. I'm just saying, like, you can ask more, like, broad questions,
Okay.
yeah. And I
What
will
did you write
paint
down?
it for you. If you're like, I need more of the picture, I'll paint it.
What'd you write down, Mike?
I'm not going to tell you until you decide this. I wrote down what you're going to try to do to get out of this.
You're guessing what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
All right, well, this is going to go off the wall then, so that way he's just wrong. I don't know.
Well, then maybe that's how you start thinking to get through this adventure. Because clearly,
Okay, so she's not amused. She comes and goes with a Russian, accent.
Yeah, with Spanish sometimes, apparently.
European.
And
Yeah,
she's
just
squeezing the trigger. So, what's this room look like?
So you're in a hotel room. You've got a cigarette ashtray on the table. You've got the TV, of course, mounted above the really fancy wood dresser. I was going to say oak,
Kinda
but
wood.
we don't know if it's that
Teak.
nice. This is Chateau de debauchery. It just needs to be able to
Mahogany.
hold people. No, not that one. It's not that nice.
Oak.
Could be. Well, you're probably oak. I think
Can
I
you-
said that.
Can
but
you
already.
describe what's above the bed?
Above the bed, you have a ceiling fan, and that would be it. Yeah, and a roof.
That doesn't sound very fancy. Sorry, just saying. Like fancy.
It's a really nice fan. It's one of those that produces a lot of wind, but it moves slowly. It's a really nice fan.
Okay, but that's one of those big ones.
Like I said, it's a really nice fan. Sure, yeah, it's a big one. Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Sure. It doesn't really matter for this story, but if it needs to be big for you to...
And where's this hotel? Oh yeah, New Orleans.
New Orleans, yeah.
So it has a balcony, probably.
Yes, it does.
All right, perfect. So I think what I would be doing is I would grab that ashtray you mentioned was there. A quick little swoop, slap it. So I'm hitting the fan at the perfect spot to knock the bolt loose that I saw.
Okay.
What?
You're hitting the ceiling fan?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the little joint.
Yeah, he's gonna drop it like the chandelier in a Robin Hood movie
What,
or
a
something.
gun to your head?
Yeah, that's what he wants to
She's gonna
do.
be so shocked. I just slap this thing, knocks his fan. She's like,
Like,
"What
you point
the
a
hell
gun
are
to
we
me.
doing?"
Yeah.
Point a gun to me.
But then,
No, don't
Go
listen to him.
on.
Keep going. Keep going. You're doing great. You are doing great.
great.
Ignore him.
I can't wait till your story. 'Cause
Oh, I
you're
know.
You're just
Go on.
whatever.
The Raz is going to be harsh.
Knocks the fan. Fan falls on her.
Okay.
Doesn't hurt her entirely. Mike, this is a made
You have to say what you're going to try to do. You can't determine your own outcome. is all
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
can't
say.
determine the outcome. But
You
can
can't tell
her
him what's happening.
You can
All right,
you can
perfect.
basically
Yeah.
say I'm going to
So
shoot the
this
fan
is
and
what
it's
I'm
going to drop on her.
Exactly, and then the
Yeah.
situation will happen. So, the fan will drop on her. She won't be fully hurt, and then I would escape out of the balcony window thing
Okay.
to the streets when Mardi Gras was happening,
Cool.
and I disappear into the crowd.
Okay.
Can
Awesome. Once
give you just a
just do it.
pointer?
Yeah.
There's not much. Like, he's got a gun to him, right?
She's got. Well, I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
He's got
He or she.
a barrel of a gun to him.
He's got a woman that's pointing the barrel of his gun at him.
He has
Yeah,
nothing in his hands.
Yeah, he's
immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Is anything within immediate reach, or
Yeah,
does he have
yeah.
to But he has to reach. It's not just
He
in
has
his
to
hand.
reach. Yeah. So he's going to provoke an attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to provoke an attack before you get to attack, because you are creating an action that's going to create a response.
Yeah.
So if your first response is to instead kick the lady, or kick her in the knee, or defend yourself, you don't provoke an attack. Does that make sense?
Wait, what was the way you said
Isn't
to
that
avoid?
what me knocking the fan
So-
on her does as well?
So if you
Yeah,
try to
but-
reach, the first thing that she gets to attack you before you get to reach.
Because you're going to make a movement before you can, if you had your gun already whipped out, then the first action is pulling a trigger versus making a movement. Like, you're going to have to move from point A to point B to get that. Sure, it's within reach, but you're still going to have to lunge for.
You have to take an
the-
action to create your action.
Yes. Thank you.
So
That's
if
a
you're
very
laying
good,
in
simple
bed
way
and
to say it.
she's next to you and she's within reach, you can try to kick her, or you can try to
No,
hit
he's
the
not in
gun.
bed.
I
He
was
gets
like,
out. He got
know
out to make
that-
coffee.
Right.
Okay, so if you're standing,
And she's on the bed.
I was
she's
just trash
yeah.
talking. So if you're able to hit her, if that's your action, or defend yourself with your first action, you won't provoke an undefended action from her.
I think that's
Yeah.
why I'm trying to create a distraction. So, like, this is what I'm thinking is I'm where I am right now from you.
Okay.
There's no way I'm going to fucking kick you before you kill me.
Right?
Right?
I don't know
Yeah.
how to explain this to him.
No. This actually. So
Am
do
I
you
not on
okay.
the right track?
No,
Is that-
don't worry about it. What you're trying to explain. If we really run into a issue, we'll deal with it.
Sure.
But I think what he's trying to do, it makes sense and it's totally applicable. So can you say one more time exactly what you'd like your character to do? If you want to change anything, you can, but you don't have to.
knock the ceiling fan off the top of the ceiling and
Using
the cigarette ashtray.
Okay. So perfect. All right. So you decide to roll over to where the cigarette ashtray is, or lunge for the ashtray in order to try and unhinge the ceiling fan and knock it down onto the mistress with a gun that is intentionally trying to kill you. You feel like. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, since you moved and you're within her line of sight and attack, then you, unfortunately, are going to have to defend yourself against a possible hit. Since you are going to be on the move, that does make it less likely for her to hit you. You're not standing still. So once again, let's just pretend here. I'm making up numbers at this point, guys. Nothing's set in stone. But let's just say, like, the average would be you're in a situation where it's 12.
I don't think he rolls for that.
What?
I don't think he rolls for provoke.
Well,
but
in
we
a
could
game
also
you
do
want,
that.
But you
here,
have to
too,
like.
yeah.
I have to do the possibility of him.
I actually don't know how you play that out. I'm sorry. I'm gonna let
Other
you.
dice. I mean, I just don't know if I want to break these out.
It's okay.
Where are we at time?
Let's just keep it basic.
We're like probably at an hour and a half now.
I feel like we're at 35 minutes for this segment somehow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, yeah.
At this point, this episode is 2 hours on.
Wow.
Throwing that out there.
jeez. Okay. Well, that's
So
okay.
let's just get through this real
Yeah.
quick. Let's roll for
All
the
right,
provoked
so-
opportunity or the provoked attack.
Anyways, so you have a provoked attack. Let's just say it's a 10. But once again, you're on the move, so I'm going to deduct 2. So it's more than likely that she is not, or sorry, it's less likely that she's going to hit you. Also, you as a character, when we're talking about dexterity, you don't have any bonuses, so that's it. You got to roll higher than an 8.
12.
18.
It's
No,
still
that's
great,
good.
though.
That's
Exactly.
that's amazing.
I know. I'm just trying to call that.
So she misses her shot. You successfully grab the ashtray, and now we're gonna throw it at the ceiling fan. For this, you have melee, or this is ranged, but it's not the gun.
Yeah, I guess it's ranged. You're right.
Yeah, so
So Nick,
so
all I
you're
was trying to say
you're
was
very
if
very accurate. So
Yeah.
we'll just say that. Yeah.
You could have
so-
cut out that first roll
Mm-hmm.
had your first move been to like
Yeah.
punch or kick or like defend.
Got it. So because I'm taking 2 chances.
Because because you're trying to grab something and then do something with it, you're like opening yourself up essentially.
Got it.
Yeah, if you, I kind of agree with that. If you would have gone more on the offensive, been like, hey, I do a strafe and punch or something, then I would have.
Or I had to get to that side of the room to attack you, or I had to run away first to cast a spell, or whatever it is in Dungeons and Dragons that provokes that.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation.
I like what you
We're-
did though. We're good.
Okay, yeah. For now, we're good. We will cross these bridges later. Okay. So, anyways, So we're gonna. This is a ranged attack. You're throwing something. Although throwing, I think, is different than like your actual weapon that you use. Let's just say it's a ranged attack. You have a +4 on that. So I need you to, let's say, difficulty on this one. I'm gonna just go with a 10 again. You want 15? 15? Let's go with the 15.
I was gonna say give him like
Yeah,
a 12 to a 15.
Yeah. So
I'm
you
not
have
a super fan
to.
of
So
the
difficulty on this one. You already survived the attack. Yeah, it's okay. All right. So, anyways, difficulty for this is a 15. You have a +4, so that means that you can roll
Needs
an
an
11 and win. Because if you tie, you win. Okay. Got a 6.
Nice.
So,
What happened?
so you failed. The ashtray misses and it bounces
Breaks.
off the ceiling and hits the ground.
Perfect.
At this point, it's her turn. She takes another shot at you. This is an even 10. To just hit you. Critical damage, I don't even know. Don't worry about it. 4.
Oh, he's safe again.
You're safe.
You're
All right.
so lucky.
So she misses her shot again, and it's your turn. What do you do?
Get out of there. Run.
I was like, I'm taking that balcony.
Okay, nice. All right, you are evading. So your dexterity is an 8. You're not. That means you don't get any bonus there. So I'm gonna say at this point, what are you trying to do? You're gonna go to the balcony and jump off a balcony.
He's just trying to get
Because Louisiana's only one, or like 2 stories.
Some of them are 3 stories. I didn't define which story you were on. You probably don't know which story you're on either as a character.
James
You're
Bond
just going to
knows,
jump out.
Like parkour shit.
And you're gonna hope
he's
that
gonna-
This
he's
story
not-
has to last
hold
for
on,
at least
hold on,
3 more
hold on.
episodes, so he's gonna live.
he's not just jumping out the window. Like he's gonna take the down.
He's going to scale out. Yeah, well, we're going to
exactly.
roll for it. You're either going to be able to scale out or you're going to have a misstep and fall.
Sweet.
And you're going to have some damage.
Sweet.
And you're going to injure yourself, and that's just the way it's going to go into the next thing.
Definitely gonna land in some fruit stand or like some box stand or something like that though.
Okay.
Just saying. I'll still hurt, but
Okay.
but that's what I'll fall into. I hope.
All right. So,
See it.
anyways, she misses her shot. You decide to make a run for it and jump off the balcony. As you are running out there, you hold on to the edge of the balcony and you say, "Sorry, love. I guess it's just not our time." Oh, dang it.
And you
I don't
dive
know.
off and you
Yeah,
roll.
So anyways, so you do that and she says, "The salty sea serpent says hello." And she starts firing, and that's when you make your drop. Okay, so you have no bonuses. We're talking a 10. You don't hit this.
I thought it was an 8.
You fall and you definitely hurt yourself. We'll see how bad it is.
Sweet.
What? No, he has an 8, so he has no bonus.
Definitely above,
Yeah.
definitely
Okay.
above a 10.
Yeah,
see it.
and I honestly don't know how we were supposed to do that. It doesn't matter.
We're
Anyways,
doing it
here
this
we
way.
go. You need better than a 10. 10. You
Tie goes to the
successfully scale down this terrace of whatever onto the street and you run away. But that thought remains. Who is the salty sea serpent?
And just like running away,
Yep.
the time has run away from us.
Big time. Nick, I'm so sorry. But anyways, shout out real quick to David Lynch, who passed away today, and the announcer,
Bob Euchre.
Bob Euchre. Here's to those guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's been a long one, but it has been a fun one. It's been another episode of Dad Meets World. Like, comment, subscribe, and we hope you have a great night.
Think you have